Oh, my God. I can't tell you the palpitations. What's my heart rate at? 135 beats per minute. What a win. A huge win for Man United. We beat Chelsea again, who fought back hard in that second half. So much to unpack, so much to go through, so much to talk about as well. Crazy substitutions on both sides, ridiculous red cards from both sides, but a massive, a gargantuan win. United sitting one place above the relegation zone when the game kicked off. I know it's only the first 5 matches and you don't really take the tables too seriously until game week 10, but optics looked absolutely awful. We needed a response. We got that response. Still some mistakes for me, which we will jump into tonight. Some things that I personally wasn't happy with, but the win was so important. Very hard game to judge performance-wise because of the red cards. It makes it abnormal. But United, again, a fast start. United, again, getting underneath team skin. But what we did this time round is we punished Chelsea. We hurt Chelsea. We diminished Chelsea to virtually nothing. And I know they got a goal back. They got a goal back right at the end. But one thing I didn't expect us to do was to stop the world champions so comprehensively for such large parts of the game. Yes, it was 10v10 for 35 or so minutes. But it was 10v11, sorry. But it was 10v10 for the second half. And yes, they had the ball. But barring the brilliant cross from Reece James and the Chalobah header, there was nothing. And I was really proud of the team for that. But look, we're going to delve into it. We're going to get your views. We're going to get your opinions. But hit that like button. Get this done. Man United fans, savor this moment. Who knows when we will win again? Who knows when we'll be a top 6 team again? I don't know. You don't know. He don't know. She don't know. They don't know. My dog don't know. They're not here, by the way. But we won tonight. Absolutely massive result for us. And Chelsea, 3 games in a row, no victory. 2 losses on the bounce. Some questionable, very questionable substitutions made by Enzo Fernandez as well. And we're going to delve into all of that on the Full Fan Highlight Show. But I need to take a breath. I've got to calm myself down. I'm so hot. Feel my skin. I'm burning up. It's like I got a fever. I hope it's cold outside. Baby, it's cold outside. I hope it is. I need to cool down. Wow. Woo-wee. You will never get this. One day Chelsea will win at Old Trafford again, but not tonight. Not tonight. I am honestly just catching my breath for a second because I was pacing up and down. I couldn't relax. I wanted that win so badly. I made a note as well. I'll show you this, right? I made a note on my notes throughout the course of the game. And I was like, we must win. We must win. No excuses. And I meant that because if Ruben and Man United would have lost that game, and we'll talk Casemiro in a moment, I'd have been on it, Ruben. To lose that game, it would have meant losing the second half 3-0. And it was 10v10. It wasn't like we were down to 10 men. I was very nervous. But I have to say, barring one thing from the manager where he took off Maguire, I wouldn't have made, unless there's an injury, I wouldn't have done that because he was having such a great game. The manager got everything spot on. We let them have the ball, but we didn't really look vulnerable. We probably felt it. I bet if Man United fans watch that game back now, when the pressure's gone, I guarantee you there'll be a different feeling. There'll be a different feeling. 1 second, people. I'm just updating one little thing. Sorry, my peeps. Sorry, my people. Oh, what am I doing here? There we go. Everything's updated? No, because I spelled something wrong. Because I can't spell great anyway, being dyslexic, but I feel even worse right now. But wow. So where we're going to start? Where do we start? Well, I'm proud. Tonight, I am proud. Tonight, I look at this Manchester United team, and I have no doubts tonight that every single one of those players was running through a brick wall for this club, for this badge, and importantly, for their manager tonight. No doubt in my mind tonight. Tonight, I think every single one of these players gave their all, put absolutely every ounce of their being into trying to win this game. I don't doubt that for a singular second today. And it was the work rate. And it wasn't just pressing for the ball in the early minutes, and we'll get onto that. It was the way we stayed in shape. And even more importantly, after we conceded that goal, we didn't concede another shot. Maybe that it'll be considered a shot when the ball was crossed in and Bayern palmed it out and there was a block shot. Maybe then. But we didn't concede a chance. I don't remember the last time I saw Man United under that kind of pressure, where the game should have been out of sight, but due to a ridiculous Casemiro red card, and it is ridiculous, and we'll touch on that, I've seen Man United capitulate and crumble. We get a man sent off, or we concede a goal, and 2 or 3 terrible events seem to happen exceedingly quickly after that. That's been the story of Manchester United for this past 4 or 5 years, if we're being absolutely honest. We've lost our resolve. So I was so proud to see the players tonight fight, maintain their positioning, listen to the manager's instructions, and work hard. Working hard to stay in shape is a commodity in the game that is just underappreciated in every single capacity. And we did that brilliantly tonight. So I want to say well done to those players. I also want to shout out the Lit. I want to shout out Luke Shaw, not just for that second half performance, but what they did the whole game. And note this down, people, okay? And the 59th minute against Santos in the middle was a note I made when I remember seeing it happen, as in I wrote the time down, but it happened all game. The Lick and Shaw stepping into the midfield. Yes, we get outnumbered in midfield, but only if our centre-backs don't step into that position. And they did that tonight, and they did it brilliantly. If you didn't notice, the Lit pressing almost up to the halfway line, so he'd step out and he'd put a man under pressure. It wouldn't let the man turn him, and he would force him back to the halfway line. Luke Shaw did very similar. It's needed in every game, but I want to thank those 2 boys tonight for that performance and praise them for it, because that in itself was absolutely brilliant and massively, massively needed. Now, I want to go back to the beginning, because of course United partly won tonight because of a red card. But don't let the mainstream media, don't let the ex-pros, don't let rivals gaslight you. Don't let them twist what really happened. Manchester United had that numerical advantage because that opening 4 minutes was some of the best football I've seen at this football club in 13 years. The press was relentless. We were moving the ball. We worked the ball into a great goal-scoring opportunity, an excellent cross from Dorgu. I haven't said that much recently. Mbeumo gets his head onto the ball. Good save from Sanchez. From that, we get the ball to Dorgu, who's about to lever it home. What a tackle from Reece James. Could have scored 2 goals in the opening couple of minutes. Then we go long, and this is exactly what a target man is for. We go long, and I understood why Šeško came off. I felt a bit sorry for him because it could have been a game for him to get goals. Casemiro's to blame for that. But when you actually have a proper number 9 who's very, very tall, the free kick, the red card, what gave us the numerical advantage comes because of Šeško. The flick on was great. And Mbeumo's first touch puts it past the goalkeeper. It's a stonewall red card every single day of the week, because if he doesn't touch him, he runs through and taps it in to an open net. I think Rob Sanchez makes a massive mistake. He doesn't need to take him down. You're 3 minutes into the game, concede the goal. You've got so much time to recover. Absolutely horrendous decision from the goalkeeper Sanchez. But at opening 4 or 5 minutes, the pressure, the press, the movement, the speed, the velocity was there in our game. Now, because I've been talking about this, our players have done that in all 4 of the previous Premier League games, but we haven't capitalized. And then on the 13th minute, we did a good ball across. Dorgu heads it down, and there he is, Captain Bruno Fernandes, on his 200th game, scoring his 100th goal to put us 1-0 up. We then actually slow the game down and control the pace. And I think we were right to do that, because Chelsea would have wanted it to have been frenetic. We get the second goal by Casemiro, and we should be laughing. By the way, we're catching Chelsea on the ball. They're all at sea. They're in trouble. And then Casemiro makes an absolutely ridiculous, stupid, borderline unforgivable decision tonight. I think it was a little bit of a harsh second yellow. Normally, there's a higher tolerance level. But don't give the referee a decision to make. let him get past you. Even if he scores, we've got a numerical advantage. We're leading. We're at home. We haven't lost for about 100 years at Old Trafford whilst leading at halftime. And there's no way that second half would have gone that way if it was 10v11. We'd have picked them off. Ridiculous. But where I'm proud of the team tonight, where I'm proud of these players tonight, is they worked hard. They dug in. They showed grit. They showed determination. And the work rate was out. And I guarantee you, when talking after the game, Ruben speaks about the work rate and how hard they worked. He may even say, I need to see more of this. Because I certainly saw a different determination at Man United tonight. Now, listen, we've had full storms before. I told you all weeks ago, when we lose, I criticize. I'm not going to get carried away too early. I have lost some faith, yes. But I said when we win, I'm not going to go over the top. Oh, my God, we're back. We're going to go on a 3, 4, 5 game winning streak. No nonsense like that from me. Very proud of tonight. I want to see more of what we got this evening. But I need to praise the players when they do the right thing, and they did. On Ruben Amorim, I've been as critical as anybody. Maybe my critiquing of Ruben Amorim is not seen like other content creators in the same way that other content creators do it, because it's all him. By the way, if it's all him that we're failing, you can't praise players tonight. You can only praise him, remember. And anyone who's been blaming him for everything, if you come on my show tonight, I'll be forcing you, joking, I'll be asking you to purely praise him. Because if the only reason we lose is the manager, when we win, logic dictates it's him. And it isn't, by the way. It's a balance of the two. But Ruben Amorim today, I hated that starting lineup. I hated it. Me and KJ were backstage after the Spurs reaction. And I couldn't believe it. I'm sitting there like, nah, we're done. I couldn't see it working. But that's because I've lost a little bit of faith. That's because I'm desperate to win. It's hard to know how they would have done for a 60, 70-minute period before a sub. But they started so well, we forced Chelsea, the world champions. Let me hear that again. We're world champions. Let's hear that in the chat, please, people. World champions. One of the best teams in England, one of the best teams in the world. I praise them. This ain't facetious. You man have been here for it. We put them under so much pressure, they crumbled inside 3 to 4 minutes. 3 to 4 minutes crumbling to a point where Enzo Maresca was making the maddest decisions. Why he took off Neto is beyond me. Then it gets a bit of bad luck because Palmer most certainly, he came off because of an injury. Suddenly you've got no attackers on the pitch. But that was all because Man United had them discombobulated. Man United did that. And what we did today, and I want to see more of this without the stupid red card coming afterwards, is when we've got teams under pressure, when we're on top, kill them off. As Jordan Belfort would say, be assassins. Close that deal. Get it finished. We don't do that well enough. We don't do it regularly enough, but tonight we did. Now, the red card changed everything again. We then tried to plan the counter. I thought we had some counter-attack opportunities that we were a little bit wasteful in, if I'm going to be critical tonight. The only thing I'd really moan at the manager about is I just wouldn't have taken Maguire off. I'm going to keep it 100. I'm not just going to ignore things. I wouldn't have taken Maguire off. I would have brought Kobe on instead of Ugarte, personally. And I don't... Listen, maybe if we did these things, we'd have lost. And so maybe I'm wrong in saying this. I don't care. We won. I'm so happy. I'm so proud of the guys tonight. My message to them, if any of the United players do see this, we know they watch socials, is yes, you're going to hurt tomorrow. You're going to be able to struggle to walk tomorrow. But that's how you should feel. You've got a whole week into the Brentford game. Brentford are not a good team at the moment. I'm not saying write them off, but go into that game and win. And then we get a home game against a newly promoted side, okay, where we could make it 3 wins in a row and 3 home wins on the bounce, and we could go into the international break with some pride. We could go into the international break with you guys receiving far less pressure. My final word before I go to your comments is very much this. Bruno Fernandes, I've been heavily critical of you in the number 8 role. I have, because you haven't done a very good job. I can't judge it tonight because they went down to 10 men so early. But what I am going to judge is your leadership, your work rate. The goal you scored was fantastic. And 100 goals in 200 appearances for this football club during the worst period of my lifetime, one of the worst periods in our 140-plus year history. Congratulations. Well done to you tonight, Bruno. You deserve that man of the match award. Enjoy the evening with your wife, your kids, your beautiful family, and thank you for everything this evening. Viewers, hit the like button for us. Make sure you are subscribing. But my word, I cannot tell you how. I cannot tell you how relieved I am. Let's go to some of your comments here because they are more important than mine. Let me just timestamp when this is. And what time are we? 15 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock in front of me. Let me get this done. Go to your comments now, people. If you haven't hit that like button yet, get that done, please. O'Malley here says, I'm an Arsenal fan and I never want United to win, but it's good to see you happy, Terry. Chelsea fans were saying it's just their own mistakes against Brentford and Bayern Munich. Seems like it's them. Well, they did make mistakes tonight, but you've got to ask why they made the mistakes. And even in the second half when they had the ball, the question is, what did they do with it? Now, part of that is on Enzo Maresca. Why take Neto off? And this is about, like, the game state can change decision-making. So Man United would have gone 3-0 up if Bruno played Ahmad in. But he tried to play Šeško in, and I know why he did. In the moment, I didn't blame him. We're cruising. We're 2-0 up. We've got a numerical advantage. Trying to get your number 9 a goal to get his confidence up. I got why he did it. Once that red card happened, my first thought was, Bruno should have played the right pass. But the game state kind of changed how I feel. I got so excited tonight. I'm either having a heart attack or I've got really bad indigestion for losing my mind. I'm going to take some of this, but if I do keel over on camera, I'm not tempting fate. I'm just putting it out there. Tell my children and my family I love them. And I love hosting these shows for you guys. Just want to put that out there. Do you know what? If it was to happen on camera, it's actually one of my biggest fears. One of my biggest fears is dying on camera. Sounds really weird, but when I had that heart scare like 4 years ago streaming, become a real fear I had. But if it was to happen, at least I'm going out on a win. I tried. You just find me in here. Someone will come to this office on Monday morning and find me like this, dead, smiling. I'm going to go out with a smile on my face. Open casket, please, to my family with me like this. Break my arms and put my thumbs like that as well. And have 2-1 Man United above my head. That would be a way to go, wouldn't it? It was just a joke. Just a joke, all right? I promise. All right. Let's go to some more comments here. Finally, your second favorite team beat a top 6 side. Good result at home. Red card dampened the game at the beginning, but you said you were already putting them under pressure. I don't understand what Enzo was doing, basically putting the game. Yeah, Enzo made a massive mistake. He made a huge mistake. And that's why I'm angry, though, at Cass, because he kind of let Chelsea off the hook. This would have been, in my opinion, I think we win this game 4 or 5-0. I think Chelsea had nothing left. We gave them impetus, and it was so stupid. But yeah, I can't wait to hear what the Chelsea fans have got to say about it. I've got little to say about Chelsea tonight. I'm really focused on United. We've got Chelsea fans coming on soon. Nav here says, Reece James, a good player, shit captain. He ain't captain material. You have a vocal leader in your team. He's does F all as captain. What do you do to rally the team? I don't think Reece James could have changed anything tonight. Reece James had Palmer leave the pitch, the goalie leave the pitch because he was sent off, and then Neto and Esteval pulled off. He didn't even... maybe it's because it's at Old Trafford, but he signs Garnacho because he sees him as a better player. Your club and your manager think he's a better player than Tariq George, and then he brings on... and then he doesn't bring on Garnacho. Crazy decision, in my personal opinion. You said you expect Man United to get 7 points in the next 5 games after Arsenal. All the noise and has matched the expectations. Trust the process. Well, listen, I don't say I told you so too often. Maybe about the direction the club's been going in, I will, because I'm very passionate about it. I did predict 7 points after the Arsenal loss. We've got 7 points. Could have been more against Fulham. I'm not going to sit here and go, everything's okay, everything's perfect. Where's Staffy? By the way, I'm not going to say everything's fixed because we played well today either. Staffy has to come on here and say we're fixed because we played well. Because fixed just means playing well. But no, listen, thank you for pointing it out because a lot of people won't. They'll ignore it. I did think we'd have 7 points after this amount of games. But now it's about going on from there. It's great. Well done. Have a drink tonight. Whee! Go on, the boys. Have a little drink. But then we've got to beat Brentford. Beat Brentford, beat Sunderland. Then we have a little conversation. So happy we won today. Big up you, Terry. Keep up the great work. Thank you to the Football Zone. Love you, bro. Chelsea fans gassed up Caicedo's tech, fouls and kicks. Listen, by the way, I'm not going to slag him off. You guys can. One of the reasons we didn't score more goals tonight against Chelsea was him. The fact that every time we did nick a ball or get into a dangerous area, that SOB was able to win the ball back. Fantastic player. Same thing as January. Target man striker gets injured and we're immediately crap. We won't have anything to show till Delap gets back. Clueless possession. But I think the possession was clueless because you took all your attackers off. And again, I know you've got to bring a goalkeeper on, so you've got to make an instant sub. And maybe there wasn't a niggle at that point on Palmer. But sometimes don't play your hand so early in the game. The manager made massive mistakes tonight. How do you get sent off in 5 minutes? Effing 5, bruv. 5 a week. You couldn't get it any easier. Nick here says, missed the second half at a family event. Glad I did. Maresca is a coward. Awful decision. Gave up on the game, regardless of Manchester United. Look, I don't think Chelsea fans should be angry. And the reason I think Chelsea fans should be angry is because Man United are vulnerable. And I think even with a new manager, I still think it would take a lot of wins and a lot of good performances over, say, a 6-month period for our vulnerabilities to go. I think that anxiety will sit within us for a long time. But your manager made it easy. He really did make it easy. You're spot on, bro. Terry, that's not a mistake. He's clueless. He's a clueless retard that's left a special needs class. Wow. I've got special needs as well. Okay, so you can say it. That's cool. That's like me. I'm a povo, so I can slag off other povos. I'm with you. He's the next level retard. I'm only reading a comment here, people. It's not my words because of the CC. Do you know what I mean? I'm sorry. Chains are off with this guy. Sam Ritchie says, it's crazy that we are only 2 points off top 4, Terry. You'd think we'd be in the relegation zone based on the reaction from the City defeat. The City defeat got the reaction it did because of mainly because of the Fulham game and the Arsenal game. Had we beaten Arsenal, drawn with Fulham, beat Burnley, lost to City, there wouldn't have been the reaction. Grimsby plays a massive part as well. And you can't ignore that. And those things must be, and they were rightfully criticised. But equally with today, yes, we're a few points off top 4. Amazing. Beat Brentford, beat Sunderland. Even if you then lose to Liverpool, there'll be less of a negative reaction because we can win some games on a bounce. I don't think the criticism the teams had is suddenly null and void because of today. Equally, sometimes it is over the top. I agree. The shittest Spanish player in the world. I refuse to hold back now. You're picking players and putting trust in the wrong people. But do you listen to the fans? Nah, we said we never trusted him in goal. I agree. I think keeping Sanchez in goal this season, it could be one of the biggest mistakes Chelsea have made in the last 10 years. The subs alone, what the F are you doing? You left one attacker on by himself. Like, come on, man. But as I said, retire, do a Danny Drinkwater and bricklaying. Football ain't for you. Him Spanish, laughable. Harold here says, told you did. Harold did predict earlier. I think he also said 2-1 United. May have said 2-0. I think he said 2-1. Man City, Arsenal, Chelsea in the first 5 games. Everything bad, yet 1 point behind Chelsea after their much easier season opener. Fulham not easy, just saying. Bear here says, Maresca really messed up with those subs early on, and I'm really disappointed with his decision-making. We have Spurs. You have Chelsea. We always knew Sanchez would cost us points. Taking our creativity off made the second half difficult. I agree. If you had Neto on that pitch as well, second half, could have been a different story. I'm absolutely disgusted by this performance. This is a Chelsea fan, Z. In every possible way. For a passing team, we quite literally suck at it. Half the team not up for that. Well, and look, you can tell that with the eyes when you watch the game, but you can also see it statistically. You had 59% of the ball, but only 0.39 XG. And 0.43 of that came in the second half, and the vast majority of that was Chalobah's header. So you created absolutely nothing. Now, United didn't in the second half, but we didn't need to. I'd have liked us to, but we didn't need to leave space and be vulnerable. You know, in that second half, with all that ball and all that passing, nothing. But a lot of that, Z, was taking off your attackers. Good old Enzo Masquetta is what he says there. Nav here says, I knew it would. Said it. Sanchez, you're the worst keeper in the world. Fucking no holding back, I think you mean. Do the Danny Drinkwater and retire and become a bricklayer. You're not fit for the modern day football. You're not. F off back to Spain. And without the Casemiro stupidity, we win 4-0 easily. Yeah, I agree. I think we would have won. I think we would have won quite comfortably if he hadn't done that stupidness. United and Chelsea should fire both managers. Teams, worst match ever. No future for both teams. Laughable backline. 0 strikers. Will be out of the Champions League first round. Listen, I don't think tonight's not about United sacking anyone. Tonight's not about slagging my team off. My team did its job tonight. We played very, very well. Went down to 10 men. Decided the game that we sit in, we nullified Chelsea. Maybe catch them on the break. We did it. By the way, if Man United weren't so bad in the last year, we wouldn't have been as nervous sitting in. The nerves were because of how bad we've been. We did the right thing, though. 5 games, 2 wins, 1 draw, 3 losses of 5 games versus top 5. 2 losses. 3 of the 5 games against top 5 teams. I said United fans need to chill out and stop being so reactionary. We are doing okay so far. Listen, I hope you're right, bro. And I hope we win our next 2 games. And I hope we go into the next international break in the top 4. I'd love an international break with no talk of our manager being sacked, our fans not warring each other. I'd love Staffy to say we're fixed. Do you know what I mean? I'd love all these things to exist at the same time. Winning at Old Trafford ain't for everyone. That's true, Boomaguna. That is true, brother. I'm so glad I went to Barnet. Guess what team that beat United lost 3-0 to Barnet today? Who would have thought it? I hear you, mate. That no matter what happens tonight, that will never be lived down, I don't think. But there we go. Look, I'm going to bring my panel on now. Because I've got somewhere to be tonight, so I don't have too much longer on the show. We're going to be live. We're going to be live for a while, though. KJ will be here, and he'll be handling business on my behalf. By the way, if I am looking down, it's only because all my monitors here. I haven't built the studio out properly. The monitors are not in front of me, so I can't look at the screens like I normally do at home. They're down here, so don't think I'm being rude or there's something wrong. I'm just staring down. I'm staring down there. I did get a voice note from my son earlier, and he was like, "Daddy, I think we're gonna win." I was like, I think we might, son. I'm nervous. It always makes me laugh. Even though I've known my son his whole life. It's a weird thing to say, but I have. His Irish accent still sends me. It's still weird. I don't know if any of you can relate. Do any of you watching have a child that doesn't have the same accent as you? I find it amazing. In fairness, my other 2 children don't either. They're quite posh. They don't sound like me. They're living in quite a nice area. They say water and 20. They tell me off, but yeah, my son. Big up Archie, Freya, and Jacko. Hope you're all good. I hope you're all in bed. Hope you're all in bed. If you're watching this, Uncle's getting in trouble tonight. Terry, congratulations for today. Thanks, bro. I appreciate it. Right, let's bring people out. And what am I looking for? I'm looking for this button here. Let me move this over. Right, and let's bring out KJ. We've got Lou, we've got David, we've got Cameron, we've got Ches, we've got Quest, we've got Andrew. Welcome back to the show, everybody. And there is a rare sight in here. Yeah, I can. What is that noise, by the way? It's someone in an ambulance. All right.
Is that Can you hear my kid?
Yeah.
Is that Kaya? Oh, yeah. Bless her.
Give me 1 second. Let me go.
No worries. Just keep on mute to speak, mate. No worries. We haven't got to go anywhere. Yeah, listen, you don't see it very often. 5 Man United fans smiling on camera on the Football Terrace. Welcome back, everyone. Lou, I'm going to go to Lou first here because, you've been very level-headed, feet firmly on the ground over the opening periods of the season. How are you feeling this evening with that win and with that performance?
Oh, that's it. I've lost my mind. We're winning the league. Level-headed out the window. No, I'm joking. I'm joking before anybody starts to take me seriously. I had some messages on the last stream asking if I was okay because I looked like such a miserable bitch. So it's really just nice to actually win. And like the red card was a real red card. Like we didn't get lucky. It was a real red card. Like it was fair. He got the red card because one of our players was doing a good thing. Like we won. fair and square, no lucky calls, like we just won. And like we looked like we knew what a football was, we knew where the goal was. Our players looked like they'd seen each other before. I mean, this is a level of excitement I was not expecting today because I was fully prepared to lose this match. So I'm going to enjoy this because we don't know how many more of these are coming this season. I'm going to enjoy it. I don't care if anyone thinks I've lost my mind, if I'm deluded for being this happy. I don't care because I have so many matches to be miserable. I am going to enjoy this really good one. So thank you to everybody who has attended my winner's speech. I'm just going to stay here smiling.
And do you know what? As a fan, and do you know what I love about that? I'm guilty of what I'm about to say. A lot of the times we come on these match reactions, these full fan highlight shows, and everything's about tactics and plays and subs. Sometimes it can just be fucking buzzing. We won a game of football.
Yeah,
like
I don't care. I don't care what it looked like or how good it was or the technique of it. Don't care. We won. I don't care if we looked terrible. I don't care if the pitch looked like it needed drainage. I don't care if Amram looked like he was going to need welly boots at one point. We won. I don't care if Casemiro lost his goddamn mind because he did it after he scored a goal. So that's fine. He scored the goal first. It's okay.
Reds are okay as long as you score. Noted.
Yeah.
Noted.
David, how about yourself, mate? Again, you've been very critical of this team. So much of it I agree with. What were your thoughts on that performance tonight? I know it's hard because they went down to 10 men so early, but what did you think overall from a United perspective tonight, Dave?
I mean, we needed a catalyst, right? My confidence was down. The team's confidence was down. Everyone's confidence was down that's associated with Man United. And Robert Sanchez, like, thank you so much. You know, you've given us that catalyst. Because after that, when he went down to 10 men, I mean, that's the best I've seen us, to be honest. You know, the right wing back, the left wing back, by the way, shout out Mazraoui. Since he's come back into that position, it just looks better, doesn't it? Yeah, we looked fantastic. We looked like a prime Jurgen Klopp pressing team. And then I realized we are playing against 10 men, you know. We have to be honest there. But listen, I'm so happy we got a win. I have to enjoy these moments. As Lou just said, we don't get many of these. But I did not expect us to win today. And I heard you say it earlier, Terry. We can definitely beat Brentford now. And that's 2 wins in a row. And if you beat Sunderland thereafter, 3 wins in a row, you go into that Liverpool game and you start to think, you know, he's turned the Reds around, Ruben Amorim. But listen, look, overall, Chelsea gifted us that today with that moment at the beginning. And he still makes some weird substitution, the manager, I ain't going to lie. He loves taking off defenders. I feel really bad for Sesko as well. There was no need to take him off just yet. But I don't want to come on a negative. But the last thing I will say is I do never want to hear anyone talk badly about Bruno Fernandes. Please, guys, please do not talk badly about Bruno Fernandes. I heard something on TalkSport a few weeks ago. I don't remember when it was, but I've just done my own research. Since that man's arrived in 2020, right, 62 goals and 50 assists. The only players above him in the Premier League since 2020 are Mohamed Salah and Son from Spurs, yeah? The only 2. He is the best attacking midfielder in the Premier League by far. He's created 513 chances since arriving. The only person close to him is Kevin De Bruyne with 416. I don't care if he whines. I don't care if his teeth are out like a rat all the time. I love you, Bruno Fernandes. Thank you for being Manchester United's captain. That's it from me, mate.
David's making such an effort to be so positive. I'm not going to say anything about Bruno. I'm just not going to say anything. I'm going to let you enjoy this moment, David.
Cheers. Thank you. Thank you.
Finally, someone who's on the same page.
Yeah, Bruno deserves all the plaudits today because not only did he score, but he was just absolutely everywhere. Like he was.
I went weird then. I thought I ended the stream. I didn't. I thought it was a different stream.
We were all waiting for you to go.
I had another screen up on another monitor from the stream I ended earlier, and I clicked the button. It went up and said you've ended the stream. But I was like, oh, fuck off. What have I done? I didn't. Sorry, back to you, KJ. Sorry.
Yeah, but no, Bruno was absolutely everywhere today. He was defending. Obviously, he scored the goal. He was making things happen. And these are the games where you can appreciate someone like Bruno Fernandes, who, yes, he has his moments. He's frustrating as hell at times. But these kind of games, these chaos games, It's where he thrives. His ability to be able to be everywhere is in his engine, his stamina. There's one point he took on like 4 guys to get a shot off because there's no one around him, and that was like what 80
He
minutes.
nicked the ball too.
He nicked the ball, went on a run 80 minutes into the game or something crazy, and the guy's still going. And he had to get taken off in the end because he was just dead. Like he could not do any more. But we talk about captains and is he a good captain? You can't question his example that he sets in terms of running, effort, like actually trying. And Bruno did that today. And I respect Bruno for what he did and appreciate his performance. You know what? I need to Cam, we spoke about this a little bit in the group chat. Matthias de Ligt, that guy, this brother, for some reason, gets so much stick. I don't get it. Maybe because when he came in, people just automatically said he's a Dutch Maguire.
They wanted him to be bad.
They've wanted him to be bad since he joined. Because he was obviously the superstar, one of the kids centre back, who hasn't lived up to his potential that everyone thought it would be. Because of that, you just crash it on him whenever they get a chance to. But for the last, I don't even care about this season because he's been great this season. Even last season, he was colossal. And when he was away, when he got injured a little bit from Man United, you saw it, you felt it, because his aggression, his tackling, his positioning is good.
He saved the goal again today too. He saved the goal today again. He saved the goal
again. He saved the goal. He's done it many times, by the way. Saved another goal again. He had times where he's facing up against wingers and he's beating them. João Pedro tried to do little jinky. Nothing. He was not getting past him. Nothing. And people like to crash it on him. And
he had our best cross of the game too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And this is what I mean. He was in the attack. I saw him doing underlaps. I thought I was watching Chris Wilder's flipping Sheffield United.
I will say this. I mean, he normally plays in the middle, so he hasn't been doing it, right? That is what the centre. I'm sorry to the Amorim outers who are going to act like I'm defending him. That's why we get outnumbered in midfield, because the centre backs are meant to step up into those positions. It's why Bruno. People didn't like Yoro being called out because he's a young man, but Bruno's right. Forget what you want to see happen. There is a system in place. And the system is, if the midfielders press, the centre-backs step up into that position. But if the midfielders press and the centre-backs stay back, that's why there's a fucking hole. It's not because Amorim's thick and he thinks if he's midfielders, he can't see that there's a hole. That's why he screams at the midfielders, step into it. And we did that today. We've done it in our 2-3 home games. We don't do it well enough away from home. I'm not too sure why, but you're right. De Ligt was fantastic at that today. Fantastic.
Yeah, fantastic, man.
For me, De Ligt's our future captain. I think without a doubt, I think he's going to be our future captain. And I said something in the group. Sorry, Cherry. I don't know if you want me to jump in or not. I can't tell.
I'm going to come. I was going to come back to you. I've got to shoot in a minute, right? And I wanted to hear from one person before I go.
Hey.
Chesney.
One.
I just want to let you know something, bro. Hang on, just look at my camera a second. This is me later. Feet in the air. I'm gonna have feet in the air.
Give it a rest. The guy's really touching 40 as well. Give it a rest, man. Give it a rest, man. Give it a rest.
Before you go, Ches, I will back you. I will back you, Ches. And he wasn't on an arrogant thing. He wasn't saying he's gonna smash us. He was very humble in his analysis of what's gonna happen. Called himself Cherry FC. So before Ches speaks, and everyone be like, "Oh, you're lying," I will back Ches.
KJ, you know what I was gonna say? I do a show called Ches 99. Hard to forget the name, right? Especially my name's called on YouTube. There's a segment on there for 30 minutes called Charity FC. It was done yesterday on my channel. I kind of explained what's gonna happen today, but I didn't know the exact details of Sanchez being a bozo, shock horror. You know, not some of the players who aren't top centre back quality giving away mistakes and errors in the game. So what happens when you got your backup centre-back as the first team centre-backs? Bayern Munich and now today. We literally gifted United a lifeline. The same we gifted Arteta a lifeline back in when he was on his last legs. It's the same thing. I am not surprised. I was expecting a draw. I said 1-1. But to lose the way we did was really embarrassing because it's against a team who, even despite the red card, was still in the game. And I know they went down to 10 men as well, so it was kind of even in the end. But even though that happened, it looked like Chelsea was going to get the equaliser. Obviously, good defending Man United. De Ligt obviously played well, so you saw the game. But from my perspective, I'm not hearing people scapegoat the manager. So you can put that little segment into the thumbnail. And sorry, to the timestamps. I'm not having people scapegoat Maresca. He made the subs he thought were necessary to get a result at the game, and it was very close to happening. I'm not going to have people come on the show or in subsequent shows and say, Maresca's the reason why we didn't draw, when Sanchez in the 5th minute of the game decides to do a bozo moment and kick in Bemo. Just let him go and score. Worst case scenario, he scores, and we've got the quality to come back in the game. Why do you have to make that decision? They don't need to do that. It's the 5th minute. It's not the 85th minute. It's not like I can understand it. You know, if it's the 85th minute, you're winning 1-0 and you want to see out your result, fine. No one's we can rationalize that. But to do it in the 5th minute makes zero sense. We're Charity FC for a reason, because for some reason, Terry, Old Trafford and Emirates of late, we go to your grounds, no matter what form we have, what teams we have, and we just seem to give away results. And that's why, yes, you won today by a red card, but I'm not surprised you won or you would have got a result. It's just for some reason we have this ground. But in today's game, in terms of the way it went down, was even worse. Because I didn't anticipate a red card. And to go to the reasons why it happened, it's a simple fact. The players we have and we're using at the moment, other than Sanchez, because he's our best centre-back, best goalkeeper, sorry, they're not the level to be competitive consistently. Tosin and Chalobah, maybe Chalobah on his own, fine, but Tosin and Chalobah together, Fofana, who's back from injury, and Chalobah, I weren't expecting them to play week in, week out. And it's showing why they shouldn't be. Because when they do, I know we haven't had a pre-season, I know it's early into the season, but when they have so far this season, they've not been the level. For like three last 4 games, I've seen the same patterns of play. It only took 2 minutes for United to follow what Fulham did and Brentford did for you guys to get drawing a red card tapping. Ball over the top, a little lackadaisical, mistake happens, goal. So I'm not going to act surprised and angry and rant and go, oh, I'm so shocked United got a point today or 3 points today. Like, United, take your win. You know, you guys played okay. Like, you played better than you usually do. But I bet you're surprised as well. I think David's his name. He even said it.
Okay, well, I'm not surprised. I'm going to cut this whole. It was fine until the gifted bullshit. Like, if it was the other way around and you forced a red card on us, it would be like it was forced. There's no fucking gift there. At the end of the day, Mbuemo twisted your team up, and then you got the red card. That's what happened. That's actually what happened. There's no gift. It's just.
So, Cam, you know when I said for 10 minutes before I was speaking that I expected us to drop points? Did you not hear that part?
But you do that every time we play each other, so you're guarded. But then
and KJ,
with United, when we're not playing you want to talk shit. So when it's us against you got to be like, well,
I think you're either deaf or being stupid. I think it's allowed because I literally said for 10 minutes that I made a show on my channel called Ches 99 where it's 30 minutes titled Charity FC. And then Cameron comes on here, guys, with his bozo head and goes, I'm going to ignore that.
I let you talk the whole time. Thank you. At the end of the day, what KJ is not going to save you from is all this bullshit you come at United with. Every time United's down in the game, every time something happens, you're like, this team's trash. They're so bad. They're blah, blah, blah. When it's you have to be careful, though. You have to. I get it. You got to say, well, we're going to drop points today, so I don't look like a fucking asshat. End of the day, dude, we're going to keep it a buck. Like, you talk so much shit about United, and today we were the better team. Plain and simple, we outplayed you. That red card was forced. It was not a gift. It was forced. It wasn't like a random, it was forced. It was either a goal or a red card. He made a bad decision. He had 2 choices. Let him score or take a red. That was forced. So when I sitting here and listen to you say, gifted, oh, I knew we were going to drop points. You talk the most shit on my team out of anybody I know.
And you're still behind me. You're still behind me in the league, by the way.
No, we're still going to do that right here. No. I ain't got time for this right
After all this chat, you're still behind me, by the way.
All the time. Finally on. No, I'm talking to you straight. We're not doing that today. We outplayed you. Hey,
let me ask a question to Lou, David, and KJ. When I say gifted, one second, Jesse, I know you're my guy. One second, Jesse. Let me speak to Cameron because he's a bit hot-headed. He's a bit rattled. He won the game. I don't know why he's rattled. But Lou, David, and put your dummy in your mouth. Quiet. David, Lou, and KJ. It's a joke we have on the chat, KJ. Relax. KJ, Lou, and David. You know when I say gifted, I don't mean, by the way, that you did nothing for the goal. But what I'm trying to say is when I expect to drop points, Lou, David, and KJ, hopefully you're listening because Cameron maybe not. What I mean by that is I expect us to drop points in the game of play. Like maybe you expose our defense. I don't think none of us on the panel were expecting Sanchez to kick in Bremo. I'd rather the guy concede the goal, like Cameron said, rather than doing that. I think everyone here will say that, right?
I agree, 100%.
That for me is a fucking gift then.
And
Yeah,
that's exactly what I was going to address.
What are we
there.
doing?
Go on, Jesse. What are you going to say? And then I'm going to go to Quest
So,
because Quest is
basically
making
what it
faces.
is,
So I want
Chaz
to-
was more or less trying to explain is that we didn't expect Sanchez to do that. Yes, he has bozo moments in game. Man United did start well. Two of their arguments could be correct, but let's not. Sanchez gave you all that. He gave it to you. It was a gift.
I think he's trying to say we earned that gift, though. We did earn that.
Yeah,
gift,
like the way you got to.
That's what he's trying to say. It was a gift.
It wasn't just
but
like
we
a
earned
random.
it. We earned it.
Like, he didn't
Yeah.
just walk out and take out one of
Yes,
our players. He took out one of our
exactly.
players because we were attacking. So I think you're both right, but you're making different points.
Yeah, what Martinez did to Rasmus, that is what we
Yeah.
consider like a gift because that was just
Yeah.
random. Like we were just doing okay, and then boom, he just randomly Bobby tackles man outside the box. Whereas we was putting pressure on you guys. We forced 2 saves before that point anyway, and then that position that you guys were in,
Okay, so I agree with you. I don't think
was a gift.
I'm not insulting Man United when I say it's a gift. I know what Cameron's saying. I'm not saying you didn't deserve it because it was a good play. First 5 minutes, you put us under pressure. What I mean is like if your goalkeeper makes that decision in the 5th minute,
it's crazy.
that's a slight on him. Rather than the like. I'm not going to say you guys didn't deserve that gift, but if my goalkeeper does that, if next game Bayern Deer does that in the 2nd minute, you're looking at him rather than opposition. Because he could have let that go and maybe dived into tackle and missed it, and then you could have scored and maybe come back into the game. When you're given a red card decision to the referee that simply, when you're literally gifting the team an opportunity to be 10-man advantage for the 90 minutes, I can't not look at Sanchez.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I will say I'm surprised that we didn't have the worst keeper on the pitch.
We do have the worst keeper on the pitch. Brian Day is awful.
Well, he didn't take somebody out.
You can't say that. You all can't say that with a straight face that y'all had to
look, hey, Anthony.
Andrew.
What's called Anthony?
Andrew.
What are they calling Anthony for? Andrew. Brian Day was the worst goalkeeper on that pitch. He is the worst goalkeeper in the league. There you go.
You can say that. Okay, anyways.
I want to move on to Quest because I need to ask him a question because David Chez said something about Maresca, about you can't really look to Maresca for this defeat. He made the subs that he thought they would win him to get a result, and he almost got a result because of that. Do you agree with that? Do you think Maresca cannot be looked at in this game?
Stuff. I think multiple things can be true at once, in the sense of Maresca's probably being put under unnecessary pressure because he doesn't have who he needs for his system to work best. So we know Colwell's been out since the start of the season, but it shows not fit. Fofana's working back from injury, and then of course you're left with Tosin and Chalobah. And I say left, and that sounds like a disrespect because actually, to be honest, the back end of last season they were very, very, very competent. It's just unfortunate that we started this season and all of a sudden it seems a little bit like they just don't really know what they're doing as much as last season. And it also could just be the fact that people have, taken time to figure out what their weaknesses is. And to be honest, that's a lot of respect to them too. Chalobah, again, I actually don't think had a bad game whatsoever, to be honest with you. It's just unfortunate that right now Tosin's not working to the best of his ability. What I will say about Maresca is when the red card happened, he's made the right decision, right? It'd be like a medic on a field, yeah? Or like when at war. He's made the right decision to stem the bleeding. That's what he needed to do. He needed to take someone in attack off. That just had to happen. I didn't like that it was Esteval. I didn't like it at all, but I understood it. But then when he took Pedro Neto off, that just threw me for a loop because I thought, if anyone's going to be as hard working as your João Pedro's, as your Cole Palmer, it's probably going to be Pedro Neto. Now, what I'm thinking he was thinking was, we'll go to, what do you call it? We'll go to a 5 at the back, keep tossing in the middle because they're going to spam crosses. And then you just play Enzo and Caicedo in the middle. You just go Palmer and João Pedro up top. Makes sense. We've seen it before as a 2 up top. But then I don't think he's anticipating Cole Palmer pulling up. And I don't think Cole Palmer wanted to come off either.
No,
but I think Maresca was like, I can't afford to also lose him long term. Because then there really is no replacement for Cole Palmer in your system. You lose a lot of creativity, as we saw today with playing Enzo Fernandez. Now, Enzo Fernandez is a quality player that will never change. You'll never shift my mind on that. But one of the worst traits that he has, which he regresses back to, is when the team is struggling, he won't look up early enough to send the ball in behind quick enough. And that's what killed us today, doubling down the fact that then we didn't have Pedro Neto on the pitch and Estevan on the pitch. So it was like a calamity of errors all at once. The other thing is, you know, if you add context to it, nuance to it, you could say, well, listen, should Maresca be making these kind of mistakes? Maybe not. He's actually done phenomenally well so far. I think most Chelsea fans can say that in games when we're struggling and we're sort of on the back foot, he usually makes the right subs. But he usually makes the right subs in the second half. People have seen me say consistently, first half is always a struggle. And I get why United fans feel this way. You got to give credit. I didn't expect to turn up there in the rain, lashing faces and all that, and see United looking to crash us within 5 minutes. I didn't expect to see that. And all of a sudden, it's like, whoa. And I've said this about Sanchez before. Sanchez's worst trait here is that when things feel anxious with the team, he doesn't know how to offset that. He starts flapping big time. So then I wasn't really surprised that we ended up in a situation where you guys had a chance on goal early. But I will say that it was, in a sense, a gift because Sanchez also didn't need to do that. But I wouldn't necessarily say that United were gifted the win and that's why they won. They definitely deserve credit for putting pressure on Chelsea. They definitely deserve credit for getting the goals when they needed to get the goals. But there's also the caveat that if you don't have the red card in the first half, then maybe the game looks a bit different and then blah, 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 blah. But hey, I think United should just be happy that they got the win. And Chelsea should just understand, listen, it's rough right now. But Maresca's second season as a full-time manager, he's got to be able to make mistakes. This one was a horrible one, and you hope he improves and the team improves, and that's it.
I think the reason why
I agree a lot.
Triggered me, and sorry, just really quickly, is because maybe I'm the only person that I expected a result from this game. So I was like, by no point was I surprised by anything that happened. I was calm the entire game. Everybody in all the chats were freaking out, and I'm like, after we went up, I knew we were going to win the game. I came into this game being like a draw minimum. Like I said from time before, like even at the start of the season, I looked at these games and I said to KJ and the whole group, I go, that Chelsea game we're getting something from. City's going to smash us. Everybody was like, oh, we got a chance against City. I'm like, we're going to get smoked. But Chelsea, I knew we had a chance against because as a gambler, I look at odds. I look at past statistics. Chelsea doesn't do well at Old Trafford. So that's the first thing. It was really easy to come into the game and say they just don't do well at Old Trafford. Secondly, unless Amarim, and I'm not Amarim in out right now, I just want to win games. For me, I looked at the games and I said, out of all these games, if we get there and we haven't won a bunch of games, statistically, if we lose that game, that's like the percentage chance of it happening was so low that you just had to bet on United. And that's where I was at. I used math. It was math.
Andrew, I'll come to you next because I know you've messaged in saying you have to go in a sec. I just want to quickly say the funny thing about people saying Man United are going to win today, you've just used math. People were using judge, feeling, maths, betting odds. They were using statistics and facts of past history. No one here thought on the football pitch that there's a reason why Man United should beat Chelsea from how we're playing. You know what I'm saying? But we got there. Andrew, what you want to say, bro? Obviously, you guys, considering you had 10 men for most of the game, you guys did have a goal, did try to come back, but it just wasn't enough in the end. What do you want to say?
Honestly, KJ, the only reason I watched the remainder of that game after the red card and after the substitutions is because I had to come here and like sort of dissect it. Otherwise, like I felt so gutted when I saw the substitutions. Quest made the point where, you know, I knew it felt so sad to see Esteban come off. Like I know he really wanted to play. You could see the disappointment. But you saw the disappointment on Neto when he had to come off. Like he really screamed at the touchline when he had to come off, because he knew if there's one player that I will like to highlight and point out who's been exceptional for us, like just playing for the badge, like this guy who's playing for with passion, it was Neto. Pedro Neto has given his all until he has to leave the pitch. And to remove that guy in a game like this, where we needed somebody to give that energy, at this kind of moment, was a little bit short-sightedness from Maresca. And after that, like I said, in the second half, I was expecting, because he was talking to Garnacho for a good 5 to 7 minutes. And I was like, okay, he's going to bring him on. I think he was just telling him, like, listen, you're not going on. We're going to take Tyreek George, who we tried to sell to Fulham.
You know what's funny about that as well?
Yeah,
what's funny about that?
You know why Tyreek George is in the club?
You saw Garnacho on the edge, just like, your boss, like, you put me on, bro, like, put me on. And man was looking at him like, go away. And he's literally looking at him, go away. You're not a part of this conversation. You're not coming on.
But there was a point where he was actually talking to Garnacho and giving him instructions, and Garnacho was listening to him. He was standing and listening to him, and then he put the guy on who's like, basically his paperwork didn't go through on deadline day, and that's why he's still in the club. If not, Tyreek George will be a Fulham player. So why would he put somebody like that instead of somebody who wants to prove Man United wrong, he has this sort of thing? And I think Chris said it, like, sometimes football games like write these stories. They make that thing happen. And for me, that's what was frustrating, to see that Maresca, a bit, he lost the plot. Okay, given that you can't like predict that Palmer's going to pull up, but then don't take off all your attackers at one time. Like, you stem the bleeding, but make sure that you have enough of people to play around. And even when he was bringing on, what's his name? Santos, I thought he's going to take out Fofana, because Fofana seemed a little bit like, always out of position, a little bit rash and thing. I thought he's going to sort of put James back there and play Santos in the middle. But it, like, for me, none of his sort of like substitutions made sense. And today, like, Sanchez cost us the game, but Maresca lost us this game. Like, because the thing is, we could have drawn this game. We could have drawn this game if he had made the right substitutions. And how I'm going to sleep tonight, how I'm going to like be able to like say, okay, this game is gone, I'm going to blame it on KJ for jinxing it before we started the game. I'm going to blame the rain and the bad gutters in Old Trafford, and I'm going to say that this is like Chelsea's bogey team, and anything could have happened. So that's how I'm going to sleep tonight.
This is shameless.
People don't need to understand that KJ Judge is some of the strongest judge that you'll ever see in your life.
Quick one.
If everyone's confident, I'm doubting, we're winning. We just know we'll win. We've got some super chats here.
Just one second. I just have to say the thing about, like, in the beginning of the game, I know that people were saying about, like, this was a gift and all of those things. But in the beginning of the game, to be honest with you, I just liked how Man United was pushing Chelsea, because they were playing the faster football. Like, their one touches were much quicker. Like, they were going in and behind. And for me, that's where Maresca needs to like up this game. Because for me, when I look at the stats that you put in the side here, I don't give a shit about the possession. Like, I don't care if we have 50, 70, 30, doesn't matter. What matters is that scoreline. And then, like, sometimes we have, I think somebody said it in the super chat, it's clueless possession. Like, there's no urgency. I can see that, okay, we have like only 7 minutes more. They're still passing back. I'm like, put it in the box. Like, something will happen. You get a handball, you'll get a dodgy penalty, something, but stop passing behind. I don't get it. Like, I don't, it's frustrating.
I think his mistake.
Man United, you deserve the win. Yeah.
His mistake is not bringing on Garnacho, man. Sorry, like, it was written for him there, Garnacho, like, big time. He could have.
I'm glad.
He could have actually brought on Garnacho when Palmer pulled up. I thought that is what he would have done at that point.
The whole stadium would have shit themselves. That's the truth. The whole stadium would have gone nervy.
Yeah, we were not ready for Garnacho equaliser at all.
How do you feel about that? I see you not agreeing.
But we'll get back into that in a moment. But I just got some super chats to do. Then I might ask Lou a question about a certain United player. So we have got from Crazy. He said, you said you expected United to get 7 points in the end after. Oh, okay, we've read that one already. I think so in this I can't see which ones are new and which one's not new. You got United fan unity right now making me sick. Hold that. You know what I'm saying? We are a toxic fan base, but let us have a moment to be together for once, you know. Tossen, slow, coward, poor passing, and legs wide open, giving birth to goal. Giving birth to goal. Worst defender ever played in EPL. God levels have dropped from Terry to this. We've also got here from CFC. I can't even keep the blue flag flying high. I think that's what it is. Maresca is to blame as he doesn't understand what players need. He needs to buy of keep. He needs to buy and keep.
Didn't he beg for a center back?
So Maresca is totally to blame. Joke of a manager playing tossing. He did ask for a center back.
Beg for a center back.
Yeah, and I reckon he asked for Mannion, but they didn't give it to him. So he just said, "Oh yeah, we got a good goalkeeper." I reckon he's towing the party line for that one. Sanchez was born with the bozo moments. It's really not that hard to figure out. Honestly, the manager as well as sometimes United wasn't the problem. We was our own problem. We had a little bit of a problem.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
A little bit of problem. Can Sanchez stay at Old Trafford, please? No. We've already gotten. Well, we still haven't.
No, I thought you said your keeper was worse. I thought you said your keeper was worse. Then why are you complaining?
Yeah, but why would I want to? Hey, listen, I've just gone from Bayindir and Onana. Why would I want Bayindir and Sanchez?
Yes, the worst keeper was the one who was sent off today. That's it.
United earned every bit of the result. CFC equals excuses FC. I think that is towards Ches. The only reason you beat us is because we didn't have an attack. I mean, we were looking like we was going to beat you with the attack there. So there's that. £2 billion spent and complaining about missing players.
Thank you.
Interesting stuff from there. We'll go back to Trust in a moment. Lou, I know you got to go, but I need to ask you a question.
Is it about Bruno?
No, it's not about Bruno because Bruno is not getting, Bruno's getting praised today, and I know it's hard for you sometimes. So, not that.
You want me to say something nice about him?
No. It's not about Bruno. Bruno's had enough praise.
Okay.
What do we do with Casemiro? That choice and decision today. I don't know what went through his head. He must have been friends with Bakota because he did some match fixing. That was insane. What do Man United do with Casemiro moving forward? Because again, that's another red card. That's another moment where it's cost us. Well, potentially could have cost us in a game. Listen, he did score, and like Lou said, if you score a goal, you can get a red card. It's fine.
Fair play.
On all seriousness, moving forward, what do we do with Cas? What is the best thing to do with Casemiro?
I think the biggest problem with Casemiro is his wages, because you can't turn around and say, "Oh, we'll just bench him." Like, keep him as a fill-in player. You know, he can help out the younger players coming through. Like, if you say that, you're benching an enormous amount of money. It's not like the club haven't tried to move him on. They're aware that he is a problem and that they need to move him on. He doesn't want to go. We gave him the contract. There's not much that we can do about it. So I think for the minute, we have to just try and use him, which is what Amram has been doing, in fairness to him, and get as much out of him as we possibly can for the amount of money that we're paying him. Now, I have a bit of a soft spot for him, and I shouldn't, because he's a maniac. But I think that's what I like about him. Like, I like, those old school players. I mean, it was stupid. It was so stupid. We were a man up. We were 2 goals up. Don't make the referee make the decision. Forget if you think that was a yellow. If it wasn't, was it harsh? Was it not? Don't put the referee in the position of making a decision, because it can go either way then. And Casemiro should know this. Also, we already know, given the incident with that, the Crystal Palace Hughes, like, we know since that incident, Casemiro gets treated differently than some players. Some players in our league for different teams get treated more harshly by the referees than others. Casemiro was one of these people. Casemiro was smart enough to know that he is one of these people. Don't do it. Don't be stupid. But I don't think we really have a choice. I don't know what else we can do with him. We can't just not use him. Like, we pay him too much money. Like, and there's no point in telling him don't do that, because, I mean, he shouldn't need to be told. He already knows that. So you're not going to change him at this point. So I think we just have to stop it up and hope for the best.
Quick question. Do we think if they weren't down to 10 men, he would have been given that second yellow?
No.
I don't
No,
think.
not
Yeah.
at all. The referee evened out the game 100%. The
I don't
referee's
think
I think the
look,
referee
let's
was
make this a
terrible,
spectacle.
but I do
Yeah,
think he
stop.
gives
Yeah.
it. I just don't.
I'm not saying it wasn't.
the
I'm not saying
referee
it
gives
wasn't.
it.
Yeah.
I
But
think-
I'm also would argue. I would also
I'm not
argue
saying it
if
wasn't.
if it's 11v11, I don't think Casemiro makes that challenge either. You know what I mean?
Casemiro, right? He's a yard off it. We all know this. But because he's so passionate, right? And he was fired up because he just scored. Like, he's just a yard off it. And he's always going to make these rash decisions, especially in a two-man midfield where he's running around like a madman, struggling. Listen, when you're out of breath and you're fatigued, you make mad decisions. It's the truth.
No oxygen going to the brain. That's what it is.
But it's just facts. When you're fatigued and you're out of breath, you can do some mad stuff. And that is Casemiro, the summary of him playing for Manchester United. The geezer's well out of breath. He was used to playing with Modric and Kroos, controlling a midfield, right? And now he's running around like he's never ran before. You've seen when he came to Man United, he was quite chubby and looking up and still looking
He's dropped
great
a lot of that
for
now,
Real Madrid.
in fairness to him.
But
He's a bit
why?
trimmer this year.
Because he had to, right? Because he's running around so much. But even if you lose all that weight, being fatigued, you make crazy decisions. It was harsh though. That shouldn't have been a second yellow. The ref definitely was like, you know what? I can even this out. I can make this a spectacle. The rain's falling. Garnacho's on the bench. This is going to be box office stuff, mate.
I am going to have to jump now, but I just want to say before I go, I think we earned it. I think we played bloody well, but I do think Chelsea, we haven't had a new manager bounce. We've had a crisis meeting talks bounce. This is the first match since Amram has had that meeting with Sir Jim, and we played Chelsea. Now, we earned it. We played well, but I do think we probably have a little bit of fire that we might not have next week because we know our fire dies out quite quickly. So I'm going to go enjoy this win, and I'll probably see you on a bit more solemn one the next time.
I can't believe you said that just
enjoy that, Lou, because again, we don't know what we're going to be like against Brentford. We all
That
probably
is exactly what is going to happen next week. You're going to be on the ropes. Yet
Jesse, don't do it, Jesse.
Have a good one.
Jesse, don't do that, man.
I am waiting.
No, to be fair, I can't even say no because we've seen it all the time.
Jesse,
Since Jesse's here, let's talk. Jesse, talk to me, bro. Like, what are your thoughts on your performance today? And someone said something about Reece James, which I personally didn't agree with, saying that he's not a good captain. He doesn't do much in terms of leading. Like, what do you think about that? I don't think this has anything to do with Reece James personally.
I think he has his moments when he shows his captain attributes, but this is not the first time I've heard it through the Chelsea fan base and other fans as well that he's not really much of a good leader. As I said, he has his moments. He's genuinely a quiet guy, right? And everybody has different ways of showing leadership and their captain sees and stuff like that. And I think he just does it in his own ways. We don't know what go on behind the scenes and how he talks to these guys and stuff like that. But on the pitch, sometimes you may see he himself looks like he's not really,
He's not bothered. He's not
bothered. On the pitch. Yeah. But that I don't think that is really it. I think everybody just has their ways of doing things. In terms of the game, we lost that. That game was over in the first 5 minutes. After that red card, that game was done. We know Sanchez has bozo moments in him, and that reflected today yet again. We thought he was sort of turning a corner because in the tail end of last season, the beginning of this season, he started well, but I am just like everybody else. Even you, Man United fans would have said, it's better he let Mbeumo come through and try to at least score because we don't know what could have happened. Yeah. We don't know what could have happened. Mbeumo could have either it outside or kick it over the bar, or Sanchez he himself could have made a terrific save. We don't know. But bozo moment yet again. I can't even really say much again after that because just like everybody, I only stayed tuned just because like I said in the group chat, I still thought we would have gotten something out of the game.
What
So
about
that was what I
Garnacho,
was
Jesse?
waiting to see. And I was
Jesse,
waiting to see.
Garnacho.
Huh?
Garnacho, how do you feel about that? None of you man are talking about it. I don't know why. Like,
I already said.
I think most of them want him.
When Cole Palmer pulled up, I really thought Enzo Maresca would have made that sub. We could have actually gone with 2 at the top with Garnacho and Joao Pedro on the top. Garnacho is there for the speed. He knows these Man United players. He knows them men and them.
Exactly.
He knows these guys. What Garnacho?
Yes.
But we also know him though. That's another thing.
Luke Shaw would have taken him out real quick. I'm not gonna lie. I think it would have been
fair game.
tackle.
Fair game. But this is where Maresca now needs to do his due diligence and do it in such a tactical way. This is where he's supposed to show his worth and experience in managing. And today, I think substitutes. Yeah, he didn't thought Cole Palmer would have pulled up, but I would have never brought on Tyreek George over Garnacho.
No.
So,
I was so glad
Cole Palmer was hurt. Is that why he left the game?
Yeah. He wasn't supposed to play today anyway. He was like 50% fit. He wasn't supposed to play.
Garnacho?
No.
Yeah, no.
Palmer,
Cole
Palmer got hurt.
Yeah,
and to be fair, the way that the pitch was, like when the pitch is that wet and heavy, injuries are, especially if you're already injured, is not good for your body. So,
Man,
he made the right call
was
with that.
waterlogged.
Yeah. Hey, the waterfall was beautiful today. You guys see it? It was wonderful. One of the greatest things Man United have got right now is our flipping waterfall in our stadium. No one else has that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Only we have a waterfall. Samuel, your rival, Liverpool fan. I heard you murmuring in the background a couple of times when people were speaking. I think you want to speak about Chelsea, don't you, my friend?
Of course I do. Because
Okay.
Chelsea fans have a lot of chat. And right now, I know people say they don't want to look at the table, but they're falling away a bit. It's a bit mad. But first of all, Man United, but you have to give them credit. Because from the first few minutes, they started off how they wanted to end it, which was on the front foot and at Chelsea's necks. Now, first of all, this whole gift that I was hearing about, I'm not having this. Because we all know that Roberto Sanchez he has his bozo moments, yeah? But what's the one thing that we say about goalkeepers when we know they can make mistakes like that? Usually it was like, take pop shots at them, do this, put them under pressure, this, that, and another. And Bumo put Sanchez under pressure. He made a mistake, and then they went down to 10 men. That's on United. That's fully on United. Now, I can understand people saying, Sanchez gifted them and stuff like that. But really and truly, I blame the board because why didn't you get a new goalkeeper in the summer when the transfer window was open? Do you get what I'm saying? And this is the same fans that will say they want to push for the title this season. They want to finish above Arsenal, finish above Man City. Yet you have a goalkeeper like that. Come on now. And then I'm hearing the excuses about injuries and this and that. And the reason why I'm not giving you the excuse of injuries is because you lambasted Arsenal fans last season about injuries. You spent how much? And you're struggling. Come on now. And I also disagree with Chez as well. He said, no one can blame the manager. I'm so sorry. He has a part to blame. When you take out most of your attackers, where you still have a chance to win, or even get something out of the game, you are to blame. I've actually seen it quite a few times, even with my team, with my manager, when we've been 10 man down, we haven't taken all of our attackers. He's just changed the system, put some more attackers on, and throw the kitchen sink at it. Maresca was scared. Now, I understand Chris saying he was trying to stop the bleeding, but I think he should have played it out a little bit more, try to chase something up. I know the other guy said maybe play 2 up top, put Garnacho on and stuff like that. Try something because the game was still there to at least get something. as you saw, it was 2-1. And Quez, I'm still onto you about that Chalobah nonsense that you said over Kanate. Hey, boy.
Did you see Konate today?
Huh?
Did you see Konate today?
Oh yeah, he won 7 out of his 8 duels.
As
Yeah,
he
he
should
was
do,
very
bro.
good today.
As he should do. Second best defense in the league, as you should do, bro. He was looking
100%.
real Chalobah-ish tonight.
Again.
Well, I hope you do, boy. I hope you do. I really do.
And I hope you get
boy.
top 4 as well.
Listen, that's my aim. So I'm very, very comfortable with where
You
we're
guys
at
talking
right
about
now,
title
bro.
races, top 4, bro.
I think
Man
the
United
weird
in
thing,
top
the weird
10
thing about
for
what
life.
Maresca did today was it was almost as if he was acting like they were in a title race and he had to defend goal differential. Like
Bro, what are you talking about,
that's
man?
what was weird. It was like it was a bit early to be like we can't concede any more goals. Like,
Yeah, it was mad.
you know, I mean, we didn't even score yet. You know,
No,
like,
guys. You have to understand. Yeah, first of all, you have to take out an attacker. It has to go.
One. He took
one,
him
one.
Yeah.
One, right? I get it. Right. So one person has to go. Who's your next sub?
What do you mean? Who's your next sub?
Who's the next sub? Because someone had to come off for the goalkeeper. So who is the next sub you do? Because Tosin has to come on. Because if you're playing a back three where your wingers are going to be highest, spamming crosses in the box, and you know Chalobah's not culpable for heading the ball, you know Fofana's not culpable for heading the ball, you have to bring Tosin on. Maybe it was early, but it was the right sub. Now, if it's the wrong player to sub off, who would you have subbed? Maybe that's the better conversation to have.
I guess if Palmer was already injured, yeah,
but that's a hypothetical.
No, but you were saying he was 50%, Quez. You said Palmer was 50% before the game.
Coming into the game, yeah.
Yeah, so make the decision then to be like, you know what, I'm not even going to risk him. I've risked him already.
Exactly.
Let me rejig this.
No.
Palmer off.
You take Palmer off.
But that's, I'm just saying, you've asked the question, bro.
You asked the question, you don't have the answer.
No. Okay, fair. That's the answer. I respect the answer. But we all know, yeah, if you're going to rely on anybody to get you a goal, this is not like Arsenal the other day, where Arteta kept on Saliba, and then got injured and everyone was cussing Arteta. I hear that because it's not a necessary player to keep on. You can put Mascara in. Cole Palmer, everybody has said, is effectively our best player. Even Maresca said he's our best player. So there's no way. Yeah, I hear that. We have. And that is very, very true. But we've won games without him where we've been 11v11. When it comes to 10v11, yeah, you have to have your best players on the pitch. Don't get me wrong. I still think it was weird taking off Pedro Neto that early. But who else can you take off? You can't take off Fofana.
You don't take anyone off. Like you make your sub for the goalkeeper, then you just say
see how it plays out.
4-4-1.
Okay, fair.
That's standard.
That's what I literally said.
And then
if you have to wait,
things aren't going right, then you can be like, okay, cool, let me bring on this extra defender. But
and then Casemiro mashed it up anyway. Casemiro done a madness anyway. And bro, you know, if Maresca was just a little bit more composed, yeah, I know hindsight's a mad thing, but if he was just a little more composed, bro, like Casemiro gifted it back.
But you know, the only thing I'm thinking is if he doesn't make that sub that early, yeah, I think you lot go and score 2 or 3 quick. I think we would have been 3-0 down in 25 minutes because the amount of crosses. Yeah, the crosses that were coming in were. I was looking at it thinking, yo,
the crosses. They were
this game. Yeah, the crosses were there.
No, I hear you that the quality of the crosses wasn't great, but the amount of crosses that were going in, it would have come to bite us. Because even if we're not,
game, though, bro, our top scorer was own goal. You know, so we weren't going to score goals like that, bro.
Yeah, and now our own goal. Now it's Bruno and own goal. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, Bruno's level with Mr. Own Goal. You know what I'm trying to say, bro? All I'm saying is you got to look at this Manchester United. We're shaky, bro. We have started games well since the start of the season, I have to say, and we've missed our chances. That's been Terry's argument with me the whole time. Oh, if we put our chances away at the start of the game, you know, we'll win these games, but we haven't. But you got to look at that as Maresca and be like, these guys have started well. I know we're saying Sanchez hasn't gifted it. He gifted it, bro. That was a mad decision.
It's a gift.
It was a gift. We earned the gift, but it was a mad decision. Bro, I just think Maresca should have just chillaxed a little bit. We're not made of goals, Man United. We're not, bro. Trust me on that. And I think you could have won that game, believe it or not.
This is what I was saying. The point of the matter is that when I've seen managers, and not just my own managers, I've seen other managers who've done that where they've waited. They've made the necessary changes, obviously after the red card, because you need to obviously rejig everything after the red card. But they've waited until like they've tried to change the system, to change the formation, change things until you need to have the necessary guys. And I think if Maresca was a little bit more patient, there was something there. There was something there.
I agree.
I hear
Chris,
that.
please tell me about Garnacho. Sorry, KJ, I've got to ask you. Tell me, why is it, like, I know you're here back in Maresca, but bro, it was made for him today. You know that, bro.
Yeah, I hear you, but I know. Look, I was gutted he didn't come on. Yeah, because
I wasn't.
Listen, we all watch football. You know storylines.
Yeah.
It would have been a storyline, but I hear that this is what I think you're just gonna get from these guys that have worked with Pep. Yeah, you see these Artetas, these Marescas, these company might even be the same. I don't think they think like us. I think in their head,
storylines.
They have principles that they're like, bro, I don't care about storylines, bro.
Wow.
The guy is not playing because Maresca's probably thinking, yeah, I don't trust Gittins to come on and give me anything. So my next two options are I bring on Garnacho and I force João Pedro to stay up top when João Pedro is not going to be able to give you what Delap is going to give you as a striker. Like I'm going to be able to keep the ball up to him and he might be able to bring it down and keep it to hold possession, but he's not I'm going to give your centre-backs trouble. That's not him. So what I'm thinking is he's probably gone, look, Tyreek George can play up top, he can do the job. So let me drop João Pedro back into the 10 so he can link up with the players in the middle, keep the ball, and then we can try and get one in behind.
So what was the chat with Garnacho? What was the chat with Garnacho that we saw on telly? Do you reckon?
It's Garnacho.
He was going to come on.
Maresca.
He was going to come on. He was going to come on.
He was pestering him. That's all.
Now Maresca said in the press conference he was going to come on, but then basically when Wes signaled he was injured, he then was like, "Are we effectively? If we now swap him for Wes, then we're down to 4 at the back, and then we can't really progress James and Cucurella the same way because then if we hit on the counter, we're dead." So.
There's some kind of reasoning behind it. Fair enough. We've got some last comments and then we're getting out here. Mish says, I'm not even angry about today. Just terminate Sanchez's contract and we're good. He also says James is a bad captain. He doesn't talk.
Chill.
John Terry would have riled the boys up. First 30 minutes, we were getting eaten alive and he was just standing there.
Can I say something real quick about listen, I'm not a new football fan or anything, but even when our fan base does it, like, why are we going back to John Terry? Like, when we talk about Sir Alex, like, these are 20 years ago, 25 years. Why are we talking about these? Like,
bro, we've got people saying there that he doesn't talk, and then our fan base says all Bruno does is moan.
Is moan. Yeah, this is what I mean.
Yeah. Like,
people don't understand leadership styles.
Yeah, there's different styles.
In fact, the way that James was playing, because I think he was one of your best players today. Like he was. There was one point where Dorgy was trying to body him in the corner, and man said, "Move!" Man just said, "Move!"
Get off me.
I remember being like, "Oh, that's."
I was like,
James leads by example. He's not the type that's going to.
But here's the thing:
doesn't need to speak.
When your team loses
in the change room, he could be like.
Yeah, he could be on people like later, like in the like.
When your team loses or you're frustrated with your team, people would try to find a scapegoat or an excuse just to say anything. I don't think that's a point. The only thing I was saying about James being a bad captain from before was that he was never on the pitch. He was always injured. But obviously he's got to run the games now. So there's nothing wrong with the way James. He's the best player. He's one of the best players on the Chelsea team. Lead by example, and he wasn't bad today. He's the last person I would say you should criticize.
Yeah, good. And we got one last super chat here. Says, but there are positives in this red card. Sanchez don't play now. That is true. There's no Sanchez for 3 games. No Sanchez
back against Brighton.
But it'll be fine. Hey, storylines. He'll have the best game of his life against his own team. But right, guys, thank you so much for coming through today. We have had a wonderful time. Thank you to David, Cam, you got Samuel, you got Quest. We also had Terry. He had to go because he's spending some time with his family. We also had Lou, Andrew, Jesse, Ches.
Fraud.
Oh.
yeah. And I think and if I forgot anyone else, I apologize, but we've had a wonderful time. Guys, make sure you subscribe to the Football Terrace. Make sure you like this video. And make sure you're sharing this out to all the people that are watching it right now. Scan the QR code to go over to Terry's personal channel where he has his personal opinions out there. So when he's not playing host, he will say how he really feels. Man United finally win a game against the top 6 at home. Chelsea haven't won in 2 games. Will it be back? We don't know. Until next time, guys. Enjoy your evening. Let's flipping go.